I do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed! And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again. Today's stream topic is about the amplification of our signals. So we're going to be talking about how technology, in the way we're using it right now, quite literally has the ability to amplify this signal that is our soul, the signal that is our voice, our art, our creative project, our journey into the ether, if you will. You can go as far of it as you want to. Just clean my camera for you, friends. And there's something that Loazana recommended that I say again. And I feel I want to say it kind of in a roundabout way. In the same way, we kind of find ourselves in a society, in a world, I should say rather, a technological world where we can have experiences where our signal is diminished. Maybe you go into the mountains. Maybe you move to a new place and you don't have good signal suddenly, right? And we're used to that as human beings. We're used to this experience of suddenly not having good signal, or we have at least experienced this act of not having good signal when it comes to these devices. But you and the signal that you're receiving is not something that you ought to doubt, right? This feeling of, oh, I'm not as connected as I am supposed to be. I'm not as loud as I'm supposed to be. People aren't hearing the signal that I'm outputting as much as I want them to, etc., etc. Don't doubt your signal, dear friend. Don't doubt the strength of your signal. Love is true. It's nice having you friends here. There's Kristen. Enjoy Vive as well. Bless you, friends. I technically have water in here, but not a lot. A part of me does want to go get myself some more, but it's gonna be a fridge mission. You guys want to go with me on a fridge mission quickly? Let's do it, because it is very hot. I've already moistened my scarf. Thank you, Joy V, for keeping me cool right now. All right. I don't know if you want mountain views. The kitchen isn't going to be that exciting. But so it be. I will put you down like sauce. Yeah. There we go. Mission successful. I have a little bit of Pineapple Express in my grinder right now. Hey, Natalie. It's nice seeing you, friend. Slurs to my face. Let me turn you around. Get that scene. Part of me does want to see what it looks like if I get myself set up like this. I won't be able to see myself, but maybe that's for the best. Right, then you get more mountain view. Maybe cut the roof off a little bit. Does this work? It is different for me too. This, I feel, is a little bit more what you would experience if you were actually using your eyes and sitting relatively far away from me. Those are some nice high ceilings. I haven't noticed them like that, but maybe. Thank you, Natalie. Bless you. Tara Noah was excited to tell me. She clicked on the notification. Bless. Oh, those pants are awesome. Yeah, weirdly enough, Kristen, I actually forgot about them a little bit. I got dressed this morning, checked my phone to see which pair of clothing I haven't worn in a while. And then when I took this shirt off of the hanger, this pair of pants was hanging on it. And it was kind of like getting the pants all over again kind of vibe. I was like, oh yeah, I have a new pair of pants kind of vibe. So thank you, dear friend, for noticing them as well. Want to see something real quickly? Uh, yeah, yeah, this scene is different. I think I might want to do like a little bit of this. I don't know what it looks like until it changes on my screen right now. Sorry for being pedantic about it. Is that good? Did I do it? Am I watching my old version of myself or am I watching this version of myself? Okay, I think I'm watching the old version of myself. Maybe a little bit more. Here we go. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's the one. That's the one. Thank you for bearing with me while I get my framing correct. Hey Mojo, it's nice having you here, friend. Sending you blessings. You'd be high too if you had that many stoners living inside you, Natalie. What? Are you enjoying your new home and housemates? Yeah, I am. I am. It's been nice. Max is a cool dude. Me and him get along just fine. Me and John have been getting along just fine for a while at least. Louise doesn't talk much, but me and the lady, me and the Tani, me and John's mom get along super well as well. We had this moment last night where we were kind of like sitting outside listening to music, and a part of my mind was like tripping out, my music is too loud kind of vibes. And she came outside and she told us that she appreciates so much that we are there, that we are here with her, letting us know that we're making her life easier. So yeah, love is true. Thank you for asking, Natalie. To the friends still wondering, I have some Pineapple Express in here. It smells like there's definitely hints of pineapple, but pineapple if it was. Pineapple while it's still growing on the plant. That's the way my mind would articulate it, right? Instead of the pineapple that you buy in the store, this would be the pineapple you find in the bush or on the plantation, right? That's the way it smells to me. Jenny is here. Hey, Jen. Bless you, friend. It's nice to have you here with us. How are you doing? How's life treating you? Today's stream topic is about the amplification of our signals. How these technological devices we're holding right now can amplify our signals, right? And I do kind of, I don't want to make it a call out stream, but it is kind of a responsibility that each and every single one of us carry. That depending on what you partake on, participate within on this internet space, you do technically amplify, right? Making it a massive responsibility at the end of the day. Know thyself and know what thy wants to amplify. Yeah. Terra Nova says that she likes where you live now. Thank you, Terra Nova. I too like where I live now. I have been absolutely overwhelmed with gratitude every single day. Like the heat. The heat gets me. The heat gets me. But again, I live in South Africa. So I should expect that. But other than that, Terra Nova, everything else is absolutely perfect. We have trees around us. We saw the monkeys yesterday. We have some ground squirrels. There's always birdies singing their little songs. There's a bunch of resident lizards. There's a lizard that used to like run quickly up the wall when it would see us sitting here. And it's so chill at this point where it just like kind of like watches us, points little eyes at us. I have a place to grow my plants, which makes me happy. And the last few days, the last 2 nights, technically speaking, it's been raining on this side. And then we get to sit on this little patio and watch the lightning strike. Like the lightning we've been seeing here, instead of all of them just going straight downwards, they go sideways. Right? And that also just makes my heart come alive. It's nice to live anywhere, but it's nice to live here too. Thank you, Terra Nova, for blessing me. When are you gonna climb that tower like King Kong? Don't make me wanna climb that tower like King Kong. I'm pretty sure it's illegal for me to climb those towers. It does have barbed wire around it as well. I don't think they want me climbing it, Joy. I have been considering climbing that little mountain, but I think I'm gonna save that for winter. Because if that freaking sun up there and that mountain right there, find me alone, I'm gonna turn into like a fried egg on one of those rocks. It is unbearable going outside. Morning, friends. Morning, Mojo again. Looks good to me. Bless. Thank you, Kristen. Jenny, love to you again. Monkeys, tell us of the monkeys. There are two marula trees that are like standing sporadically here. This one is dropping a few, but the one out there is dropping more. So as we're sitting here, we look to the side and we see these little monkeys, gathering some marulas. The monkeys and the ground squirrels are both actively, pursuing those marulas. They're small monkeys at least. They're not baboons. If they were baboons, I would have been less stoked about seeing the monkeys. But they're little monkeys. They do seem to be apprehensive of the houses, right? There's a lot of space for a monkey to be. So I'm hoping that they stay away from the buildings. I'm sure they will. Those monkeys, so much love. Hey, Lewizana. It's nice having you here too. Okay, I have my little vape. Let me set an intention. What am I vaping Pineapple Express for today? I feel calm. I feel at ease in my heart. I don't feel like I am missing anything. Maybe just to appreciate this state of being. Like during the yoga, like I'm complaining about the heat, nilly willy, right? But the yoga like takes it to another level. And as I'm like sweating, as I'm like doing my child's pose, and every single time I touch my forehead to my yoga mat, it leaves a new spot of sweat. I'm like, bruh. So getting to sit down right now, in contrast to what I just experienced, is actually bliss. So I'm going to crystallize that understanding, live into that feeling. Yeah, baboons are very dangerous. They got fangs. Click. It does taste the way it smells, which always pleases me. But the taste is even more complex than the smell is. And it changes. It changes a lot. That's surreal. Oh, goodness. Okay. I've given myself the time to analyze what I think it tastes like. At first, as I said, it was like smelling the like fresh greenness as it's still growing on the pineapple plant. right? And then the smoked experience is like taking that technically fresh green pineapple and then letting it ferment a little bit, right? And you know that that funky taste you can get with pineapple. It has that kind of aroma to it, and then at the same time it has like hints of anise, that same licorice type of flavor, and then by the end of it, it almost took on like the flavor of DMT. Weirdly enough, like it's not actually pleasant, but it was complemented by all of the other terpenes. So like that last one is the one that kind of caught me off guard. It might also be my lungs, upping their concentration or something. So who even knows? Thank you, friends, for bearing with me. I got back in bed after yoga. Let yourself rest. Thank you for showing up for yoga, Joy Vive. That was important. Amplifying your intention now. Yeah. My intention, again, was to crystallize the bliss that I get to feel for being in this moment. Because I do. Since finishing my yoga, got to sit down. So I'm generating less heat internally. I got to wet my scarf. So that is actively stripping heat from my body. I got to just experience something. I mean, I've tried it before, like literally yesterday, the same bud. But it's such a different experience from the rest of the ones that I have. How can I explain it? Like it's like going to an artisanal beer tasting place, right? And they have this interesting beer, and you get to taste it and like experience like the craftsmanship of the person's work. The thing that I would love, I think it might be like a PR slash privacy nightmare, but being able to see the faces of the people that grew the bud that I experienced, getting to see their hearts, getting to see how they show up for their plans, getting to see, the same level of stoke that I have. Maybe, maybe it's better that I don't see them because then I get to imagine more stoked than there might even potentially be. But yeah, thank you, dear friend, whoever grew that bud for me. I appreciate you so much. It is beautiful. Are you guys gonna put up any tenting or awnings or shade of some kind over that porch? All that stove is gonna store hella heat. Yeah, we've already considered it, Sam. We've already asked the landlord permission. He's so chill. He's like in his 80s. He's still missioning to like keep the grass short, and when there was something wrong inside the house, he came with one of his workers, to fix it. His worker couldn't figure it out, so he fixed it himself. Like what a cool landlord. Like he owns this whole piece of property. Like he's absolutely stacked, but still so real, of a person. So he's super cool. He mentioned that, he doesn't really have too many gripes. I feel like he's at a point in his life where, he realizes that he doesn't want to thought about things anymore, probably. He's a super chill guy. Oh, I'm seeing the ground squirrels. Let's see if I can show you. They might run away if I come close, but it's already gone. Is it? It's in the tree. Nah, I can't see it anymore. Might have started running away when I stood up. They are super vigilant. Like they don't get caught off guard easily. Now I can bring us back to a little bit more of a Meltmore perspective. Marula trees? Yeah. Let me show you the marula trees. Those are the marula trees. This is one marula tree. And if you're wondering, what is a marula, Melt? Those things laying there are marulas. I wonder if I can reach one. Let me show you. There is actually a very popular liquor here in South Africa that is, I think, in part at least made of these. And there's like a whole, I wouldn't say culture, that's probably the wrong word, but there's like a whole culture of elephants that literally go and after these marula trees have like thrown their marulas on the ground and they have stood there in the sun for days, weeks, months at a time. They come in and they eat them off the ground because they're super fermented, and then they get wasted. The elephants get so wasted that they literally fall to the ground, like actual drunks. falling asleep in the bushes. It's kind of hilarious. I'm gonna eat this one. It is kind of nice. This one is gonna probably be a little bit funky. And it smells. It smells like a little bit of grapefruit, like very light grapefruit with the sweetness of berries, weirdly enough. And then you can look at that. You see that? You can like squeeze it. There's definitely compounds in there. I am aware. Like, and look at that. It's like a viscous goo. I'm so no, stop. Why would you put those nuts in my head? Oh, you have marula trees. Yeah, just outside the door. Are you guys gonna put up any bless again? So yes, to in a long-winded way answer your question, yes, we do plan on adding some shade netting at the very least. That would already, do us a massive solid. Remember to amplify your signal, please do. Thanks, Joy. I did use my notes app as soon as the call ended. Yeah, marula trees. Back in the day when I could tolerate alcohol, my favorite liquor was Amarula. I was just talking about that popular liquor we have in South Africa. Amarula is what it's called. It's like a cream liqueur, made in part of this stuff. So delicious. I still buy it for people as a gift sometimes. Yeah. Something you can do with that liquor, if you don't actually enjoy the drinking of it, you add like a shot to a glass of milk. You might not like milk. You can do almond milk as well. You add a shot to a glass of milk and, it's all right. It's very nice. Oh my joy. Someone on Star Trek subreddit is asking the same question about density that we were the other day. Seriously, Sam? Density? Joy V is also missing 2 cats and their byproducts, Joy V. Remember, a drunk elephant sounds scary. I think they unironically are a little bit more dangerous, actually. Do you make anything other than booze from marulas? No. You can make a marula beer as well. So you like take this goo and then you put it in like a tank. You add some sugar. And then you let that stuff get super funky. And then you put that in bottles. And you can buy those bottles from people next to the road sometimes. I haven't seen that in a long time though. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. But I remember as a kid seeing ladies sell it next to the road, right? Like bottles and bottles of it. And it is like it's pungent, right, of a drink. It's nice. If you do it right, it's actually super nice. And if you taste like the flavors coming off of this, just this, it's a little bit fermented. Woo! It's like sour. The actual taste of this is like sour. Imagine if grapes didn't actually get that sweet, right? Like the base flavor of the grapes, but without the sweetness. And instead of sweetness, you get sour. That's what this tastes like. At least that's the closest I can get to a descriptor. So most of the goo is out now. And then this is what it looks on the inside. It's like pit. You can't really get that much of it. But yeah. What is marula? Thank you for suffering. I'm gonna stop. Homemade brew. Yeah. Exactly. Do you make anything other than booze from marullas? Just posted to create space, bless. Did I? I'm leaving it there. Homemade brew. If the tree can make booze, it is necessary for it to do anything else. Joy. Yeah, the tree makes booze by itself, right? Like those skins, they stay pretty thick. Like you saw. Let me show you again. Like that is literally like a little bottle. Each of these are like a little nature-made bottle, right? And then it has a big pit and then a bunch of goo, right? Like already liquid goos. And then they just stand in the sun there, and they can stay there for like weeks, literal weeks, and they don't lose that much moisture. I don't like the engineering that has to go into creating those things. Bless you, Marula tree. I hope to learn from you and your wisdom. Imagine, imagine instead of having water bottles, right? We figure out how to genetically edit a tree to grow these pouches, right? This same skin, and like a tube. We can make it a little bit bigger as well in a tube, right? Just growing off these trees, and then you can like snap one off, bite into it, and then you can have different varieties, right? This one tastes like pineapple. This one tastes like mango. I want the power. I want the power to play with DNA in time. Yeah. Maybe be careful what you wish for, Christian says in the back of my head. Like a gooey apricot. Yeah, like a gooey apricot. I mean, like there's not a lot of flesh on them. You know, that is the one bummer. But you do get some goo, you know, and I mean if you're starving or super thirsty. Oh goodness, I'm just imagining myself starving and super thirsty and then stumbling upon a marula tree and then pulling an elephant on myself. I think I'm hydrating and putting some calories in my body, you know, to the point where suddenly I'm just on the ground amongst the marulas. Come back in a confused daze, start eating them again. Oh, monkey and ground squirrel, collect them. They do. They're food. They are food. That's a great rabbit hole. Mel, you should do a whole stream where you taste random objects and describe the flavor. Maybe one day. That's a nice thing to say. I will never say never, so I'll rather say maybe one day. I'll say I don't know if I'm gonna do that right now. Like because it feels revealing. It feels like I don't know. It feels like I have to pretend to be human harder. Right? It's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm tasting something, and people can't actually taste what I'm tasting if I can't hand it to them next to me. And then describing flavors, weirdly enough, with the bud as well. When I describe a flavor, and I understand what it's supposed to taste like. For instance, there's this one bud I have. It's called Mandarin Cookies, and when you vape it, it tastes like if you had like a ginger and brown sugar cookie batter that you then put ground up, mildly caramelized mandarin skins into, right? And it's surreal that you can taste something like that. And especially once you describe it, like that's how it tastes to me. And then as I describe that to the friends tasting it as well, you know, seeing their eyes being like, oh, I see what you mean, right? So yeah, maybe it is something that is a useful node of input. Is it a worthy signal to be amplified, right? To bring it back to today's stream topic. Thank you, Mojo, for amplifying it. The reason so many non-food packages have the instructions "do not eat" is because someone fucking ate it. Someone ate. Someone ate. Right? Like I'm just imagining this oak buying a thing, a plastic thing of kiwis, right? And it's like taped shut. And he's like, surely they wouldn't tape it shut if it wasn't supposed to be eaten. And then proceeds to eat the kiwis with the shell. I'm just imagining the sounds. Like surely at some point they had to realize, right, that they were like making a mistake somewhere along the line. I don't want to laugh about this. It kind of makes me sad. I want to believe. I want to believe Sam. I want to believe people are smart. I want to believe people are capable. Please don't tell me people are eating the kiwi with the shell. You can eat kiwi with the skin, but not with the shell. You know, the shell needs to be taken off. I'm leaving it there. Bless again. Right, Sam. Melt licks rocks and grass. Maybe finds a ground squirrel to suckle. I like how we have Mojo suggesting that I taste random objects. She did mention random objects, or he, I don't know actually, Mojo. They did mention random objects, right? I like how Joy V instantly went with rocks, grass, even a ground squirrel. I'm just imagining me turning my camera around, showing you a frame, and then you watching me sprint towards a ground squirrel. The poor thing, you know, is struggling for its existence. I'm not hurting it. I'm just holding onto it, bring it into camera, proceeds to. Ah, yeah, this squirrel has like hints of like dirt, weirdly enough. It is a ground squirrel, so that is probably to be. The squirrel is like, what is this thing preparing to eat me? Is it just making sure that I'm tasty? Rocks I'll lick. I've licked rocks before. Rock licking is not weird. Right? Right? Surely it's not weird. It comes so naturally. Have you never seen like a super smooth rock and not felt the urge to lick it? Even like certain textured rocks. Like I'm imagining that texture where there's these small little developed, like almost like little houses of crystals. Right? Almost like they were crystals and then they got compacted together. And then a layer of that compaction fell away, but not smoothly. I don't know which picture I painted in your head, but surely one of them ought to be right. Yeah, I want to lick one of those crystals right now. Why am I? Please, Rob, let's bring it back to reality. No, don't tell me about the Tide Pods, please. I am still in disbelief. I still want to believe that that didn't actually happen. Amarula jelly, would that be gross? I mean, if you have like a dairy-based kind of jelly, right? Like vanilla jelly, that's kind of like creamy, then it would be nice. But if you're, you know, doing like strawberry jelly with amarula, I mean, the strawberry might work. Would the apple work? Nay, apple wouldn't work. Maybe strawberry would work. I've never thought about it. We've never done it that way. What we do, however, do is create like jello shots, and then you can add to the top of it a shot of amarula, right? But you don't, you drink them and then you eat the jelly kind of vibe. So maybe, I could see it working. I heard of an employee who got away with stealing money from a coworker's desk because there wasn't a rule specifically forbidding it. Same thing as the dang food warnings. Can you imagine that? Like, I'm guessing it was caught on camera or something as well. Yeah, technically, our employees can steal from one another. You know, if you want to get technical about it, the rules doesn't say anything. Isn't that still like? Isn't it still illegal to steal money from a person in the country? Right? Do you have to get the police involved? Nobody wants that, right? Mojo. This was during the Trump administration when the other side was injecting bleach and taking horse dewormer. They were doing it to own people, poisoning themselves as a political stunt. Human beings. Thanks for showing me, Mel. I wish we could smelly smell through the internet. Only request smells, of course. I mean, technically and eventually, those signals will be amplified as well. Because these signals are relatively simple, right? We figured out camera technology and microphones pretty quickly. Because on a technical scale, it is an order of magnitude easier than figuring out smell. And again, I think we're going to end up doing it with terpenes. We're going to build devices that have a whole spectrum of terpenes, and then by mixing these terpenes in the exact way they're supposed to be represented, we're going to create smell-o-vision. but you're gonna still have to replace vials, you know. And weirdly enough, the marijuana plant might end up becoming, an uber cash crop because everybody's smell-o-vision will in part be grown. I think we're just going to teach bacteria how to make terpenes. I think you can do that. Hey Google, can bacteria produce terpenes? Or a yeast? We can do it with a yeast as well. Biochemical and genomic studies reveal that almost all bacteria biosynthesize terpenes. Oh wow! Oh, surprise! Why should I? I'm not surprised. Terpenoids, not terpenes, but that's the same thing. Most bacteria solely employ the methylarythritol phosphate or MEP pathway for terpenoid precursor biosynthesis, while some bacteria use the mevalonate pathway, and some exploit both pathways. So yeah, nice. We could even, in that case, employ bacteria and then feed them accordingly, so they produce the terpene that they have been genetically designed to produce. Yeah, sick. More technology to smell-o-vision. It can be done. It can be done. Right? One of my favorite tidbits of information that I've been really ruminating on is the fact that the cannabis plant can produce a very wide spectrum of terpenes. And in the same way that a painter can paint, or a bunch of painters can paint a very wide diversity of different pictures with the same paint, so can a cannabis plant also create a very wide, diversity of smells, down to like the complexity of like beef stew. You can have bud with the right terpene content smell and taste like beef stew. I don't know if I would like that, right? But technically it is possible. And thinking about that has been fascinating, right? Again, like our smell is something that's very unique to us as well. Like where with light, you're technically getting inputs still, right? Like the light is entering your eye, but then switching an input on, and then that input is firing a signal that eventually reaches your brain. Where with smell, you are literally taking compounds from the air and fusing them into your mucous membranes so that the chemical reaction can occur, so you can understand what that smell is. So it's like literally making it a part of yourself. Maybe all things we experience become a part of us. Maybe that's why I'm so obsessed with things smelling nice. I want the nice parts of reality to be a part of me, right? That's the signal I'm trying to amplify. Yeah, it's coming back to me now. Mojo, I think I read it one. Even the smartest people do mindless and stupid things without using their smart parts. Isn't this true? No, Sam, the Tide Pods wasn't political though, right? Just referencing the time frame. I think Tide Pods was more a meme than anything. No one ever ate Tide Pods. It was just the young people freaking out the olds. I thought that as well, actually, Joy Veep. I thought it was literally just a meme, right? Like kids were making memes just to like fuck with people. And that seems like something kids would do. I honestly would not be surprised if it were. But yes, it's a time frame reference. Also, totally agreeing with Joy. I don't think anyone was actually doing that. Yeah, because you would probably try. Like I'm sure that 1 or 2 or maybe even 10 kids did end up putting Tide Pods in their mouth and starting to chew it, right? But your body is very intelligent, and as soon as those tastes fuse with your body, right, become a part of your system, your central nervous system will scream and will try to evacuate what you just put inside your mouth. Again, maybe children aren't that developed, but I doubt it. I doubt it. It may be another lie on the level of furries in school requesting litter boxes. It certainly sounds like it. Nothing burgers, right? Literally just trying to like create a clickable headline, and then in doing so, maybe like steer an agenda is like the easiest way to just like say it as it is. Hey Sam, stark reminders of how far humans have yet to evolve. Maybe they ran out of smart options and a tight pot is a last choice effort to get out of a stuck situation. I see what you're doing there, Luke. Yeah. Nobody wants to eat Tide Pods. But sometimes it's dark and you're just reaching for help and you're hungry for attention. So you eat Tide Pods. Not because you want to, surely. Love you, Luke. Thank you for adding, bro. Okay, I'm genuinely confused about the furries in school. I've talked to teachers who say it has happened to them, and others who say it's a myth. I don't know what to think. The way I see it is that we find ourselves in a weird society where people are going to want to be different, especially since there's technically, at the same time, more of us than there's ever been, right? So there's even more of this drive on a soul level to differentiate, to be different, to stand out, and even to be different, right? Like not be yourself. Some people have experienced so much trauma in being themselves that it's easier for them to be something or someone else. The litter boxes, like, that just sounds like stupidity. Maybe it's like trying to like shock the public again, right? It's like, yeah, we want litter boxes. And people are like, what the fuck? Are you crazy? And then they actually just dress in their fursonas or whatever and still go to normal bathrooms. And then we're like, okay, this is fine. This is fine. This is okay, right? They're not hurting anybody. Look at them being stuffed animals. I guess maybe the weird thing you friends are talking about is that people in personas are approaching children, and because they look like mascots, right? That is like a danger to children. Is that the way I'm supposed to interpreting the yikes? I am interpreting it. I feel fortunately we live in a society where there's cameras everywhere, so if you want to be an asshole, you're not going to get away with it. Humanity is watching you. All signals are being amplified, right? Including with all of the cameras that are watching us. Like, usually people will be able to do something, realize it was a mistake, and then try and course correct, and then maybe do it again mindlessly, realize this is a mistake, do it again, right? Where with cameras and with the digital permanence that we're trying to create, you might end up getting sick of your own nonsense if you have crystal clear evidence of you doing it over and over again. So yeah, protect the children. Protect the individual. Protect the earth. And protect your signal, right? Because we talk about stuff like this, and maybe there's some yikeses out there in the world, but if you believe that there are yikeses in the world and you think that's a problem, you can either try and be a vigilante, right? Try and find the problem and try and solve it yourself, or you can be the solution. We had a whole stream about that, of the whole helpers thing, right? You can be the one that makes a difference. You can be the one that literally just has a good day. You can be the person who doesn't hurt anybody today, including yourself, right? That sounds hard. Sounds hard to do. But by doing stuff like that, our signals are being amplified. The signal that we want in this universe, that we want to be putting into this universe, you put into it by living your life. We forget so easily. Maybe on purpose. It is a lot. A great deal of responsibility. Let me see where I'm. Okay. Plenty of kids think they're animals or want to be animals. That's not weird. The little box thing never happened. Furries in school is a lie. It's not happening. It's a spiteful jab at gender pronouns that refuses. that people are refusing to accept. I like how we have such a diverse perspective. I try to share mine. I hope I added to the conversation. Thank you, friends, for adding yours as well. I haven't had hers. Saying fairies are in schools when they're not is how they're trying to tell us to think the LGBTQ crowd isn't real. That they're all just deluding themselves. I think it's again that whole fractal of, and I don't want to go down this fractal, but I've had this conversation so many times with my dad, and he's unwilling to budge on it, right? Believing that being gay is a choice. I'm like, Dad, and I ask him this directly. I'm like, Dad, do you choose to find my mom attractive, right? Like for me, the feminine form is on the scale of like watching a star or like watching a planet, right? Like the absolute gorgeous magnitude of what is standing there. I don't have that for a man, right? And if I was born and I had that for a man and I happen to be gay in my world, why do I need to be damned for that? Why do I have to be, like pretended that like I don't even exist, bro? And again, I believe the biggest thing is like a level of insecurity within certain people. Like we have found ourselves again in a social norm. I think in part the American dream being sold to us, right? The nuclear family is another way to say it. That was the only acceptable fractal kind of vibe. And again, if you're a capitalist society, you want only nuclear families because they make many babies, and many babies make many more monies, and many more monies and many more babies make many more babies and many more monies, right? So of course, they would try and silence, the minority, especially if they're not contributing to what they think society ought to be. Live free. Is that a Pojo we're seeing, bro? Missed you, dude. It's nice having you here. Sending you love-ins. We have Connor too. Bless you, bro. It would be easier to make someone smell if they had a brain chip. I was going there as well. I was going there as well. I wanted to say that we're probably just going to have to like wire, our olfactory nerves directly, but we might be able to do it with terpenes, non-invasively in the short term. I mean, short term again for me is like 5 years. It can be done. Can be done. Smell is so important. It's how our bodies determine if a potential mate are genetically dissimilar enough to breed with. How about that? So if you smell like family, you're like, didn't know that joy. I rely on it heavily to decide that that thing in the fridge is still to eat. Yeah, your tongue is technically good for that as well, right? And smell is technically the most important part. And one thing that I found out that also fascinates me is the fact that you can technically put the death cap mushroom in your head, in your mouth, right? Like you can eat the death cap mushroom, just don't swallow it, right? Swallowing it is you poisoning yourself, but you can technically test for poisonous things by putting it in your mouth and not swallowing it. And apparently, if it starts creating like a tingling feeling, that is a very clear indicator that it is actually poisonous. So yeah, our bodies have so many signals coming into it. Some of them have become more amplified. I feel our sense of sight and our sense of hearing, maybe like our sense of sight is taking the primary, like role, is the thing that's being the most amplified because you're experiencing this through sight. Surely there's sound as well, but you might kind of dissociate with sounds. It might just be like a little bit of a sound, something that keeps going, something that lets your mind ruminate. But looking at something, there's like a certain level of believing it's real, right? Is it real? Any more real than a smell is, right? A smell can be real, right? But you can't see it. And then if the wind takes it, it disappears. If I smell something and I go to the person next to me, you smell that? And they go, nope. And the smell that I just smelled had gotten blown away. Can I convince them that the thing I smelled was real? And then again, we find ourselves with trees, right? I can convince you that that tree is real because we can both walk up to it and touch it. But is that just a signal that is being amplified in that moment? Thank you, friends, for being here for this conversation. We're almost reaching our 1 hour mark. I'm gonna start getting my cards ready. We pulled a sacred geometry card. We pulled card 44 yesterday, so we'll do work your light today. Didn't know that. Bless again. Luke, yes, they are. I'm so stressed because the package was delivered a few streets over and I found it finally last night. But my neighbor saw me taking a package from the door on the camera. I was thinking about ringing a doorbell, Luke. Bless. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Came with a ring pre-installed. Yep. And it's only going to get more so, right? And again, I don't know if this is me saying what they want me to say kind of vibe, right? But if you're a good person, you ought not be scared of cameras. In fact, if you're a good person and you don't want more bad to be amplified into the world, then it should be an honor to be on camera, even on CCTV, right? Be an absolute amazing person on CCTV. Right? Like that's the way I choose to see it, at least, because there's no escaping it, right? There's no undoing that button. I did a bad last night, so now I must repent to the Melt fam. I wanna like do a bit, but I don't know if it's insensitive, right? I wanna pretend to be a father, and then go, speak, sweet child, confess to me. What have you done, Connor? But I don't wanna know, Connor. I don't wanna know what you sinned. I don't know how you missed the mark. All I wanna know is, are you going to do better, right? Are you going to reconcile if you've hurt someone? It's a beetle. Oh my goodness, look at this. This is making me so happy. Let me show you. Oh no, bro, he stopped. I think I scared him. This little beetle started eating the amarula skin. And then when I started moving, he started running away. I'm gonna try again, bro. Oh man, I was hoping that he was going to just like sit down and have a whole meal. We got to see him for a second at least. Is this punching? Better. Okay. Again, love you, Connor. Love is true, bro. You know what's right. You know what oughts to be doed. Now you just have to, right? Love you, bro. Sending you good vibes, man. Duck Dad's here too. Blessings, bro. I simply cannot. I only express my deepest regrets. Love is true. You are already forgiven. Yeah. It's okay, bro. Again, I don't care. Not because I don't care about you, but because it's irrelevant to me. What matters is what we do going forward. And like we can say words all we want, but that is a weak signal, right? Like I have the ability to amplify my words with this technological medium that we are accessing right now, instead of my words being just and then into the air. It is, and then right now there's 10 friends in this space with us. I don't know how many friends will join us, afterwards, but every single time a person hears my voice again, technically that signal is being amplified. But the real power is in actions, right? Like that's an even more visceral signal that you can input into this world. You were loved, bro. Go forth and choose love. And remember to love yourself, bro. Like, again, forgiveness is for yourself at the end of the day. We don't have to forgive you. Connor's being teased. Don't leave me hanging. I want to hear the choose. Caught up. Man, I caught. Oh, man. Caught finding your package. Too bad it didn't read the address info and tell the delivery guy. I'm missing context. Just needed to get off my chest. Details will not be available. Bless you, bro. Did you participate in stage performance of horror, Rocky Horror and then got buck naked and ran through the streets? Specifically, did you do that? Maybe. Let the time warp again. Tunes, as long as you're safe and you are aware of your despicable actions, all is good. For trans 6, what the fuck's happening right now? Forgiven and loved. We're talking about getting buck naked and running in the streets. Been there. Some people can smell. Some people see smells and smell sounds. I don't know if I want that synesthesia. If I want synesthesia, I would like to have the ability to probably smell colors. That would be mine. I would like to like look at the greenery and smell fresh, right? Like, fresh, clean nature. And then look at the blue and then experience like, what would that smell like? Water, right? Probably water. Like ocean vibes, yeah. And then I look at red and I smell iron, like blood, probably. And then I look at orange and I smell mango. If not, why not? Mango and oranges as a beautiful bouquet. Yellow and I smell like yellow flowers and bananas mixed together. Even onions have like little yellow flowers that also smell pretty nice, very sweet, even though oniony. I mean, I'm like trying, like at least this is the way it's feeling for me. It's like I'm teaching myself how to do what I'm saying, right? Like I can synesthesia myself by just imagining the smell while I'm looking at the green. Feels like I'm confusing a part of my brain, bro. It's like being like, what? we're doing what now? Why are we doing this, bro? Like you can't smell that far. It says. I'm not trying to smell that far. I'm just trying to smell something. Nothing comes from the nose area. It feels like it's happening in the center of my skull. This is tripping me out. I'm going to stop. Did you participate in the performance? Card, lighthouse, in a rainstorm. That's very specific. Contribute to the day. Go forth and sin no more, my child. Yes. Melty, good morning, brother. Love you, bud. Love you, Boja. You want to smell colors until it's time to see the poop brown. I mean, I can smell chocolate as well, bro. I can look at dog poop and smell chocolate. Suddenly, I'm like, that's a bad idea, bro. That's such a bad idea. The kids are gonna eat dog poop. No, kids, please. We're just hacking our brains so we don't have to smell dog poop. We get to smell chocolate instead. Don't eat it. No, please. Much love to you. Just been doing shit that I know is wrong, yet still do it anyway. In a sick cycle of regret and apathy. I know I'm better. And you will be, Brother Bear. Sometimes, and I don't want this for you, bro. That's the rough part. Sometimes we keep going deeper and deeper down that cycle of regret and apathy to the point of hitting rock bottom, right? Like having no other options but to get better. And like it kind of sucks getting there because it's like weight loss, you know? You can literally postpone your weight loss journey indefinitely, right? And this is not a call out. This is just something that I went through in my life. I had to eventually get started. And if you keep piling onto the problem, you're not making the solution any easier, unfortunately, right? The sooner the better. The more love you start giving yourself now, the more love you'll experience through the whole of your life in toto. Say 17 Hail Marys and 4 Our Fathers, and then Magic Cloud Daddy will forgive you. Easy peasy, bruh. And then you can go on and sin again, dude. Just come back next week, pure tithes. Right? In fact, by that system, you know, I want you to sin because then you're more likely to come back and ask for forgiveness again. Sick. Loophole generated, you know, infinite money glitch. people are assholes, and then they pay us to make them feel like less of assholes. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna keep poking that line. Connor, the best part about love, about life, is today is a new day. Today you are the Connor that is kind to himself and lets the past wash away to leave it clean tomorrow. There we go. Today is the day you make choices that you don't have to regret. That doesn't feel like a cycle of regret, right? You can do one thing. That's the thing that's cool about regret as well, Connor, is you can do one thing. You can do yoga today. Spend 15 minutes doing some yoga. You can wash your clothing, right? And get it hanging. You can wash the dishes. You can make your bed. You can brush your teeth and comb your hair. You can take a bath. Like there's so many little things you can do to yourself, for yourself, that you won't regret, right? You're not gonna regret having washed the dishes. You're not gonna regret having made your bed. You might feel indifferent, but there won't be regret. You won't be like, oh, bro, I wish I didn't make my bed. You know, my bed being all made is really a bummer. No, right? And in doing these small things for ourselves, we start gaining the momentum to do bigger things that we don't regret. You are loved, dear friend. You are more capable than any of us can even tell you, right? I'm still trying to learn that about myself as well. The bed, what if I haven't slept? So it's the same day, duck. Yep, then you're screwed. Sorry, Connor. You're still a bad person. No, dude. Like, technically, this moment, you're reborn every single moment, right? And the stuff you bring with you gets reborn with you as well. That's the signal that you are amplifying. Like the way I articulated with Tani Charlene recently is like prayer. You know, I don't really believe in prayer, to be completely honest. I believe in manifestation more than prayer. I'm more of an action person than I am of a wishing person, at least in some ways. But but a part of my manifestation journey, right? I believe there's something called inertial magic. You know, inertia is the thing that stops most of us from doing things. And it's a type of magic to be able to overcome that inertia. And as you practice that magic, you basically become, you know, infinitely momentumed. That makes it easier and easier to overcome that inertia. And it is hard. It is hard. You hit walls. But again, because you're doing inertial magic, you go through them. And it hurts sometimes, bruh. But we get to stand up, dust ourselves, and then run at some more walls. Run some more walls. Connor. Yeah, now is what matters, exactly. Again, right? You're being reborn every single second. As a smoke, now is what matters. I have watched you guilt yourself over this for a year now. At what point do you plan to switch tactics? Good question, Sam. Very direct. Very appropriate to ask. Like I have learned this about myself as well, you know, like a certain level of impatience I have for the victim mentality. And I'm not saying nobody is a victim. Not at all, right? I have just unfortunately through the internet seen people be victimized in ways that really is out of their control. You know, being a child and bombs falling on your roof, your arm gets blown off, right? Like that person, in my mind, is more of a victim. And I don't want to even articulate it in that way because that's not what it's about. But if I hear like oh, you know, I could never, so and so, you know, guess it's just not for me to so and so. Guess my mind instantly clutches out because I used to do that. I told myself I wanted to start doing YouTube when I was 17. But I kept telling myself that I am not worthy. Who am I to start a YouTube channel, right? What am I gonna say? What kind of videos will I make? Why would people give me their time of day? And I kept asking myself these questions. And my mind kept giving me answers. But unfortunately, because I didn't believe it gave me the answers that I probably didn't want, right? Like, yeah, nobody is going to listen to you. You know, you ought not start. And it was due to a lot of suffering, unfortunately, as well. Like, I wish it was like a nice story of, and then I became confident, and then everything worked out. No, no, oh no. I had to suffer. I had to literally be locked in a box. I officially uploaded my first YouTube video in the middle of lockdown in Shanghai due to COVID. I was stuck, right? And I had to amplify my signal in some way. In some way, the signal had to be amplified. My voice was stuck in a box and I couldn't accept that. And you don't have to do the same. I want to make that very clear, right? Because you can amplify your voice in multiple different ways. As I said at the start of the stream, through your art, through your service of another person, right? Again, if the signal you want to see in the world is of people helping one another, then you inputting that signal puts that signal into the brains of the people you are helping, into the brains of the people that are observing, right? Like you are literally amplifying that signal by being it. So with that said, I feel we have consciously evolved. We have amplified that signal. You are loved, dear friend. Feel the lesson. If it feels wrong, give grace for what is done and can't be changed. Love this life and lessons. Come back, but I learn faster each time. When I find myself up all night, I get all awkward, but I have super focus, so I focus on my breath. That's great advice. Taking a deep breath as well. Luke, yeah, conscious awareness and precise observation of self keeps me up too. Much love. I know I'm always use the space as a trauma dump. I always appreciate the advice, as I am the type to need to be reminded. All of us are, dear friend. You're not stupid. You're not bad. You're not, forgetful for having to be reminded. You are human. All of us are, right? And we chose to be, I believe. I believe the thing that you actually are chose to be human in this way, to learn the lessons that come with it, to learn grace, to learn so much grace. Sure. Am I graceful? Not always. Nay. I am trying to be more graceful. I don't know if I want to change the way I walk, right? I walk like I have somewhere to be. Because I do. I got somewhere to be. I'm not hana-hanaing around when I'm walking, but it's not very graceful. Definitely not. Oh, okay. Back to reality. It takes me a solid week to get back on the track each time I'm stuck in unsleeping. I accept that I have these tensions to work through and I let them ease. Like yoga helps that as well, right? I don't know if you do yoga. I do believe you do yoga, Luke, but you learn that stuff about yourself when you do yoga. Like I've been having like a super tight lower back and I put myself in some pigeon poses, some twists. The twists were the one that I really noticed as well. And then just like a whole variety of twists. And as I keep pushing deeper and deeper into that part of myself that is uncomfortable, eventually I reach this point where it literally feels like it goes from like a clenched fist in my lower back to it like, and it's, yeah, like I wasn't actively or consciously necessarily holding on to that whatever, but in coming back to it, right? And I did actually yesterday do a proper practice of my own for the first time in a long time. And coming back to it in that way, you learn things about yourself. You unsleep. Bless you, friend. The more we do, the more work we do on ourselves, the more we need to do. With reflection comes responsibility. That's true. Meth keeps me up when I'm stuck there and takes 2 days to sleep and a week to feel comfortable in my skin. Goodness. Yeah, I don't think meth is exactly the way to go, unfortunately. Apparently, it feels amazing, but at what cost? At what signal being amplified, right? Because apparently, it's dopamine heavy. So it tells you you're the best, tells you you won the lottery, tells you you did a good job over and over and over and over again, right? More so than any person, any achievement, any experience that you could, actively pursue as a normal human being could ever. The amount of perspective. Love you, dear friend. Take care of yourself, right? And I'm not anti-meth necessarily, right? I am anti-meth, to be completely honest, but I can see in the use case, like somebody is like hiking a mountain, right? And then they maybe like fell, and they know that there's a camp, and maybe they're bleeding out or something. Like taking some meth would literally help them push their bodies to the point of to the point beyond exhaustion, so they can maybe like get themselves to safety. But we're rarely in those situations as human beings, so I don't exactly see it as something that ought to be used recreationally, right? Like again, it's a compound, it's a shape. It's not evil in and of itself, but what it makes you do. Like, unfortunately, meth is a big problem here in South Africa as well. And I had this conversation with a dad whose son started doing meth as a 12-year-old. And he got deeper and deeper and deeper into it, and was like started doing meth at home and stealing his parents' things to buy himself more meth. And like he like smoked a bunch of it, and his dad tried to like have a conversation with him about his actions and what he's doing. And like he was speaking in like demon language tongues, and his dad is telling me this about his son, and because of this confrontation, the son picked up a knife and tried to stab his dad in this delirious state. And like seeing the heartbreak in his dad's eyes, like again, he found himself in an environment, he had friends at school, he had access to those signals, right? Those signals were amplified in one way or another in his environment. Love is true. He's better now. The son ended up getting off meth. He was in rehab when I had the conversation with his dad. So there is hope. I may discuss though these feelings a lot and do apologize if I ever gave up the victim card. No, bro, that wasn't what I was saying. I was just riffing on, Sam's fractal. Like the way that Sam was putting her energy forward. I was sharing the way that I put that energy forward as well. Wasn't trying to project. Try. Wow, you said it as well. My sleep schedule is completely effed since I stopped by Vans. I'm up every hour. Stick it through, Brother Bear. That's my advice, man. It is. Yeah, we're not gonna go down that fractal. I'm not even touching it. That's the whole point of this thing, is to make mistakes and make adjustments. We are here to learn, to teach each other. It's a wild ride, and sometimes it's less than favorable. Connor, all these thoughts might be because you're coming to the end of your known life. School and the kid is all you have ever known. Maybe it's the fear of becoming Connor the adult, which I promise is totally normal. It is. I went through a little bit of a crisis of personality, of ego that way as well. Moving here, Connor, so it is very normal, bro. Don't do that, Connor. Wait a second. I'm loving stretching as a new avenue for progress at this time. Bless you. Same. Stretching has been like my go-to as well. I did some handstands yesterday, but the stretches have been the stuff that I enjoy. I don't really enjoy the handstands as much as I enjoy getting strong. The stretches is like, it hurts, but I'm like, this is satisfying. Don't do that, Connor. The path is making lifelong change. Starts with accepting your whole self and acknowledging that you have reasons for doing what you're doing. Beautifully said. Unwinding those reasons can lead to changing that behavior, but you must try to move past it without fixing it. Meth is the best thing in the world. I'm glad I walked away from it. It will destroy you. Bless you, Joy Vive. I'm happy that you got away from it as well. It's not it's not what we were here for, right? Unfortunately, it is another hijacking thing. Like there's so many things that try and hijack the signals, right? To keep the topic relevant. I'm proud of you, dear friend. Love is true. It makes artists out of anyone. I mean, it tells you that what you're doing is right, right? Like you have absolutely no inhibition to make a work of art because to you it might as well be the most beautiful thing you have ever created. You could be butt as naked, having dipped both your fists in a bucket of paint, making swirls on a black wall, and you will absolutely adore it. You would be so stoked with yourself. To the outside world, people will be concerned. But that's the problem, right? It's an individualized drug where serotonin is something that gives you information. Like the reason people end up becoming more chatty when they take MDMA is because it's a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. The serotonin you have in your brain and the serotonin that is released when you have conversations with other people, instead of being bonded, signal fired, reabsorbed, it's bonded, signal fire, signal fire, signal fire, signal fire, signal fire, signal fire, until that compound gets destroyed. Right? So, like, we want that connection with people, we want that conversation. And dopamine, unfortunately, is very selfish, right? Dopamine tells you that you're great and only you. And only you can be great. And the fucked up thing about dopamine is if somebody is greater than you, suddenly your dopamine has a hard time of telling you how great you are. Right? It's like, oh shit, I'm not as great as I thought I was. Feels bad about self. Oh man. Oh, ugh. Okay. My body is afraid of moving that fast. Moving how fast? It's not a habit to break. Own feelings again. Don't miss anyone. That's a fucked up, terrible thing to give to anyone for the first time. That is a sin, but to struggle to get away, solid show of strength. Yeah, the 12-year-old, right? I don't know if it was the first thing he was ever given, but it was something that he was given. Like, can you imagine? Oh, thank you, Joy Vive. Like you have absolutely no frame of reference of the world, technically speaking, right? As a 12-year-old, I was into Dragon Ball Z, bro. That was one of the things that gave me dopamine. I just started watching anime as a 14-year-old, right? That kid was doing meth. Goodness, like that's an atrocity. And again, this is the socialist in me, I should say, right? Like I feel like that is in part due to the pharmaceutical industry, due to the government, due to the war on drugs, because you don't stop these things by making them illegal. You just literally guarantee situations like kids getting addicted to these things because there's an incentive to sell it to them, right? You have a customer. That's all it is to you. Someone buying something from you. Love is true. The reason we can feel angry about this information is because love is true. If we didn't love, we wouldn't be appalled. Reminding myself as well. Mel, have you talked about how you've been feeling in your new place? How has the transition been? I have, in part, talked about a little bit. And I had a conversation about exactly this last night with a beloved. And it is this weird fractal of, hearing the reflection about how I'm in a more pure place as to what I'm supposed to be doing when I'm in this space. Where when I was at home, I might have had influences, signals coming into my being. And then, unfortunately, even unknowingly, those signals ended up becoming amplified through my being and into this stream, which is not what you friends necessarily signed up for, right? I do believe and I try to put the most conscientious energy into this stream, right? If we're going to be amplifying signals, if every single one of my words is going to be amplified at least to the 15 people in this space with us right now, that is something I need to be very vigilant about, right? But unfortunately, when we're angry, when we feel upset, when we feel hurt, we end up belting, getting those frequencies out of our systems. So I hope, at the very least, that bug is like here, down here again. He made a whole little loop-de-loop. He's eating that thing, I believe. I eatsy eatsies. There we go. I'm disconnected for a second there. I should pull a card. So, yeah, all of that suffice to say, Nancy, I have been happy in the new place. Grateful. Like I did talk about a little bit earlier, but I feel so blessed. It's hot. Sometimes just bearably so. But that's basically the only complaint, if I had any. Chemicals will inevitably dull your natural abilities. The allure of man-made drugs is that it makes you better. But all they do is blur your true vision. You can create that. You were created of a system that works. All we need to do is adjust the fuel that we choose. Mama Gaia. Mama Gaia provides to us. I had to figure out that I could do everything sober. That's what hinders most artists, the artist's lack of appreciation for their art. Yep, and more dopamine gives more appreciation, more good, more right. But you can do that. You can prick yourself. You can live pompously kind of vibe, right? You don't need the chemicals. I do not regret it at all, but I also do not recommend. Bless. Thank you, friend. We can be powered by poison if you will let it become our fuel. We can also be powered by naturally occurring substances. No regrets, just reflections. What exactly did we sign up for? I would like to see the service, please. You signed up for lovin's, brah. You signed up for love. At least that's what I would like to believe, right? Love is true. Love is true. Love is true. Love is true. Just had to add a few nodes if the AI analyzes the stream topic. Love is true. An important point. Pay attention. Love is true. That one really crystallized. I can feel it. We're supposed to live it up, be crazy, get naked, get high, it's all good. Reflect upon those moments and assess whether or not it truly helped. Yeah. Try everything and keep the good, right? I got as far as trauma dump. Connor, the space is full of love that can receive your dump. You are worthy, little brother. Thank you, Shell. Bless you, friend. Love is true. Have you invited Rudo? Have you invited Rudo? I have. Good brother, sorry. Don't know what it looks like written. That is exactly what it looks like written. I have invited him. He told me that if he's coming through to Pretoria, he'll consider coming through to my place. And I was thinking about him today, getting ready for the stream. And then as I'm thinking about him, he sends me a message. And I was like, oh, I was just thinking about you, bro. Yeah, there was always the background hum of tension on the farm that would occasionally get very loud. Yeah. Noise, right? A signal being amplified that wasn't serving this space. And I feel that signal has now dissipated completely. And that makes me very happy. Swampy on my way to get Nick. Doug Swami says his love. Keep your reflections to yourself. Took a lot to make me realize I was in there, and I have been all along. Bless you, friend. Pojo, hey, there is Jovan. Everybody tell her how much she's loved. Jopo, Doc, Mojo, Shell, Joy, Luke, Nancy, Lozana, Sam, Toons, Maolao, all above and below, melt and more. Popping in to let you know I love you so, but must go. Must again go. Bless you, Joe. Love is true. I'm seeing flowers, but as I tap my third eye, the flowers go pom 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 pom, like glitching. Like the flowers are streaming into my brain, and I'm plugging the hole through which they're coming. Bless you, Joe. Have a good day. I believe Joe is gonna go and support a friend who is becoming yoga certified. So it's gonna be a yoga weekend. Love you. We're gonna pull a card. Are you projecting your mind energies into this deck right now? I'm getting let know that my data is getting wrecked. But it is the 10th, and I still have 20 gigs left, so it should be fine. Have you answered your deepest calling? Weren't we talking about that today? Over and over again? Right? Which signal do you want to amplify? That is your deepest calling. Your soul's deepest yearning. This is what the card looks like. Warrior woman. Have you answered your soul's deepest calling? Flowers, lines permeating from her being, a dress and armor, a temple that opens up to space, a star at the top of her blade. Warrior woman. Pull the 22nd card for me. Just yoga. Now gonna get breakfast. Love y'all. Love you. Enjoy your food. If you got it, donate a little to melt for data. No, it's okay. It's okay. I still have data left, right? If I'm out of data, we can talk about donations, but I still got data. Thank you. I'm doing fan. Can you maybe get a recording of grinding metal in the background, or at least a cow moo? Change is hard for me. We got Screamy Bug. Screamy Bug has been adding some noise floor at least. Can you hear them? That's some familiarity, right? It should have been expected with all of these trees. It's ideal bug living environment. Where is my? There she is. That bug completely decimated that little piece of thing. I think it was like the little sticky that was hanging on the back of the marula. Bless you, Kartha. It's nice having you here, friend. You go yoga show. Can you maybe get a recording? I haven't worked in 2 weeks with Duckling. And now, with me being sick, I got data money next week, I promise. You're fine, bro. Dang, I forgot you were sick. How you feeling? Why aren't you sleeping? Screamy bug. Okay. Card time. Warrior woman. To all of the women in this space, thank you for being a warrior. I do consider my body female. Not, I shouldn't say female, I should say feminine, right? My body is feminine. It's soft. Look at that. It changes, right? My consciousness is the masculine, so I am seeing my body as the woman warrior as well in this, right? So we can be same. I also want to relate. Let me see. 56. You are here for a reason. You are being called to bravely pave a path. Have you answered your highest and deepest calling? Living a heart and soul led life is not all fluffy and smooth sailing. Living a heart and soul led life requires courage to triumph over fear. So often, our fears are the gatekeepers to our greatest gifts. And the more resistance we have towards answering a call, the more important it is to our soul's growth. Sometimes fear is an indication that we are facing the right way. Joan of Arc was known for her courage and her famous line, "I'm not afraid. I was born to do this." But the thing about courage is that it's not possible without fear. So if you're feeling afraid, what is needed is courage. And courage comes from living from the heart. Think of your fears as opportunities to expand rather than things that are holding you hostage. If you look at your fears in this light, then, as uncomfortable as it may feel, it is actually a sign that you are on the right track. I feel with what we've talked about today in Stream Topic, I couldn't have asked for a better card. Amplify the right track. Amplify your signal, right? Answer your deepest calling. Write your book. Yeah, yeah. Get called out. Oh dang, bro, moving. I've already moved, bro. The move that's been moved. Swampy. I feel marginally better. About to hop in the shower, which helps. No clue why I'm not sleeping. Could be the detox of Ivans or the stopping my giant quantities of weed. Who knows? Might be a combination of the two. I'm happy that you're cutting back on both, bro. I believe that it's only going to be good for you. Let me know when you get your period. Makes me think about like a moment we had at home actually, Joy V, where one of Tani Charlene's sons, she has two, John and her other son. The other son lives with his dad in Cape Town. Sent her a message, you know, and he found out that his girlfriend and his girlfriend's friend, you know, had their periods sync up. And he asked his mom, is period contagious? Like the Afrikaans is kan hulle mekaar aansteek, which is like can they give each other a period? And then I joke and I say, yeah, you should tell him because he's still like 15 or whatever. You should tell him that if you have sex with a woman, you get the period. And like it was like a whole like joke. So thank you, Joy V, for it's bad, but yeah, it feels synchronous. I had to remove like 10 wasp nests yesterday. I had a talk with them all before I removed the nest. They weren't happy, but I didn't get stung even once. How about that, bro? Bless. Joy, I totally believe in the mansies. I may not flow, but if I don't get incredibly irritated and emotional every 30 days or so, oh, like, I mean, like it's cycles, bro. I think it's cycles. Everything happens in cycles. I always thought that they were little buddies. The situation confirmed my assumptions. Weirdly enough, I've also been having a little bit more of a special relationship with the wasps here as well. I have like you can see it there. I have like a drum that has water in it sometimes. Doesn't have right now. But the wasps drink water from there. And when I go and scoop with my scooper, I try to be very conscientious of the wasps drinking their water, and I don't try and like hurt them, and they don't try to hurt me, right? For what it's worth. So I don't think they're all assholes. At least they do also recognize your face. I feel marginally better. Did I just kill a mosquito? Ooh, sorry. Got in a shower. Much love to you. I might stream first seed planting today or tomorrow, depending on my energy level. Bless you, Duck Dad. Get better soon, bro. I hope you have a good time, man. Been building and finding the calling, and it's time to amplify. Bless you, Luke. May your signal reach everybody that you want to. Yay. Remember when I told you previously that that little beetle started eating the skin, but then my movement scared it away? I think it realized that I'm chill and now has. There we go, live again. Like, I think I put my hand around it and then the signal got completely. And then little beetle eating them. I shared the marula with you friends on stream, and then mine or want to amplify that signal is now feeding this little beetle. So sweet. There we go. And hey, Gavity Goo, I've been thinking about you a lot. When adding a bunch of 27s, been seeing a bunch of 27s. It's nice to have you here, man. I wonder if that beetle would munch something as big as it is. No! Like, he's really going at that skin. It looks like he's happy about that right now. And him being happy about finding that marula skin already like snapped open so we can actually access it. It's making me happy as conscientiously experiencing the eating of the skin. And there is this entity looming over me that isn't just killing me. I made a round, right? Came close to this creature, saw him moving, got scared, came back for seconds. Like, he's really going for it. Looked like he's trying to immerse himself. I remember a little 4-panel Charlie Brown comic I saw when I was a kid. Snoopy was looking at a bug on the sidewalk and saying, "What a cute bug." I wonder why that bug is so much cuter than other bugs. You also found it cute, right? I don't know. It has like a, I think it's like unassuming. It doesn't look like he's menacing. It's not menacing vibes. It's more like little car vibes. I don't know where I'm going with this. I need to finish up my stream. I ended up streaming 2 hours anyway. Love is true. Okay, no Kalimba today, I feel. I feel now upon feeling, I feel I do in fact want to Kalimba. Fine, fine feelings, fine. I'll amplify that signal, I say to my feelings. Who am I to not amplify Kalimba signals? And you arrive just in time for stream to eat itself. That little guy will certainly eat the whole thing. It might have to carry it around for a bit, but it will definitely consume the whole thing. Like, it really is going for it. And again, it is like the Afrikaans word is kurkdrug. It is like super dry with the amount of heat that's happening, ceaselessly. So that is probably like not only food to him, but also moisture, which is something he probably lacks. Karimba! Thank you. LT, thank you. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, bro. Like, again, if you friends weren't so actively listening, the stream wouldn't be nearly as special as it is. And then he bent over and took a closer look and he said, "She's wearing eyeshadow." For some reason, struck me as hilarious. Also, maybe then that's when I became convinced that if my parents would let me wear eyeshadow, then I could be cute too. Did I miss a part? Maybe. And also, maybe, that's when I became convinced that if my parents, but I was forbidden from getting close to the bugs or getting the eyeshadow, I'm guessing. I feel like I missed the message in the half there. Maybe I did. I think I did, maybe. Let me try again. The Charlie Brown comic, we did read that one of the cute bug. Took a close. Okay. Okay. I think maybe I just had to remind myself of that. It's cuter than the others. And the bug was wearing eyeshadow. That's why it was cute. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Lozana. I completely butchered that. So it can carry that with you because you are beautiful. Sleep with the bug. You are very much loved and respected. You are the most beautiful humanimals I may have ever interacted with. We are but a reflection to that which you are, Joshua. Honor thyself. Be the most loving version of you that you can be. Amplify those signals. And in doing so, we will change the world. The whole world will be changed by our loving intentions. Slowly but surely. And then all at the same time. Probably gonna have to put this one off around my neck. There we go. I burn up in a fiery haze. It is finally revealed that I've been a vampire this whole time. I return to you, friends. My bug friend is still eating his marula skin. That makes me happy. I have 3% battery left. Picture looking impressionistic. Good. I'm happy to hear that, Nancy. I do try and share the most beautiful vibes I can with you, friends. Be blessed. Get the goodness amplified and have the mostest, amazingest, beautifulest day, everyone. May you go into this world and amplify signals of love to the point that not only the people that can hear you, but even the people that can see you walking around in the world know with certainty in their heart that love is true because of you. You can make that much of a difference. Bless you. Stream, turn to old VHS tape. Now clear. Weird. Joy, the only index news I could find regarding Florida man and cows is something about Florida man getting stung by killer cow killer. And okay, I feel like we're a little bit off topic. Love you, dear friends. Thank you for joining me, sharing this moment. May you have an amazing day. Amplify the signals that you want to see, right? If you add batteries and electricity to this antenna tower, right, that blasts the most atrocious music that hurts your ears, right, then stop batteries, right? Stop feeding the frequencies you don't want to be uplifted. Bless you, dear friends. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Love you.